Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm Chris. I'm here with Kathy. We are Ginger Marvin on Instagram and YouTube. We have a What Sold video for you today. Yesterday, we did kind of two ways of doing our What Solds, and we're going to go ahead and continue the second way. But anyway, Kathy, we're going to go ahead and follow her around and see what's sold. So here she is.
Hey guys, so first up is a pair of Crocs. They're in box CM. Alright, so yeah, these are just some brown Crocs. These were from the bins as part of my stimulus check challenge, so I only have about $1 into them. I just listed them today, at least cross-posted them today, and they sold for $22 free shipping. That was an offer I sent to a watcher. I had them listed, I think, at $25. So yeah, those are, I think those are under 12 ounces, so $4 to $5 to ship on those. All right, next up, box AW. These are just some Stride Right My Little Pony boots. These sold on eBay for $29.95 free shipping. Let's see where the buyer lives. They live in Florida, so that's actually going to be kind of pricey to ship. I can probably fit those in a padded flat rate though. So if they fit in the padded flat rate, it's like I don't know what that new rate is, $7.80 or something. And if not, it'll probably be closer to that $10 mark. So I paid $5 for the boot, so either way, I made a little bit of profit there. All right, next up, AF.
And so yesterday, Kathy was looking through her spreadsheet to find the location. We went ahead and did that all ahead off camera, just finding what box the stuff is in.
Yeah, just to make it go faster.
Yeah, it was a lot of cutting and editing. So
these are just some Dr. Seuss Converse. They are in very, very, very rough shape, but I showed all that in pictures up close and everything. But you can't buy these anymore, so you have to get them like on a resale site if you want them. So person that bought these did pay $19.95 free shipping for them. These are my son's shoes. I think we bought them at Once Upon a Child a few years ago. So I couldn't have paid more than $6.50 for them. So yeah, shipping will be around $4, and then the rest will be profit. So, all right, this next one is a huge sale. B8.
sarcasm.
The hugest sale I've ever had. That's not it.
So we had a hard time finding them in that box, but Kathy did find them.
Squeezed in between a bunch of other stuff. So,
Which usually means that's something that's been in that box for a long time, so it's kind of worked its way down to the bottom.
and yes, that's been in there a very, very long time. So this huge sale is some Tea Collection shorts that sold on eBay for $5 plus shipping. I bought these a very long time ago at Once Upon a Child on their Dollar Day sale, so I paid $1 for them. I've tried to sell them at JBF. They didn't sell there, so I listed them online probably last summer. And then they just finally sold. So I sent an offer to a watcher because I was like, please, somebody buy these. They were baby size. Tea Collection's not a bad brand, but they were 3 to 6 months. So that's just wasn't really a good pickup on my part. But I didn't lose money. I made a couple bucks. So $5 plus shipping. All right. And then box BN. Are just some saltwater sandals. These are always a good pickup. They sell, depending on condition, I would say between $20 to $30. These ones were in a little bit rough shape, so I had a watcher and I sent them an offer of $19.95 free ship. I paid $5 for the sandals at Once Upon a Child, so it's not a huge profit, but made a little money on them. Shipping will probably be, those are under 8 ounces, so that'll probably be like $3.50 to ship those out.
Do you think it's because they're red, or I know the white saltwater sandals do really well, right?
I think all the colors are fine. Just these were a little bit like worn down.
Okay.
And also I listed them after last summer, and it's not quite this
Gotcha.
time yet. So I think if I would have waited, they would have sold for my list price, which I think was $25. But
Still
when
a
I get a
bolo,
watcher,
right.
I always send them off for pretty
Yeah.
much. So all right, then we had one Kitizen sale. That was a LuLaRoe item in box BY. Alright, so that was from my stimulus check challenge. So a bins item. So I only have $1 or so into it. It sold for $13.45 free shipping. I had it listed at $15 free ship, and then I had 10% off one sale running, so the buyer just carded it and bought it outright. So they paid $13.45. I can't remember. I think this was over 8 ounces, so it will cost me like $5 to ship. So that's only going to be a few dollars profit, but again, we're already well in the profit on that bin stuff. So
Which if you missed yesterday's video, we did a recap, kind of like a catching you all up to speed on the stimulus check challenge, where we're at the end of yesterday's video, or no, a couple days ago. No, it was yesterday. So the last video, that's what it is.
So yeah, that was the only Kitizen sale. Then we had a couple Poshmark sales. So this next one is in box A. One day we won't have a pile right here.
This is all not permanent fixture except for Reese there.
This is just a vintage Health Techs, which is just like a Walmart brand, but it is vintage. So back in the day, these were made in the USA and just a lot better quality than stuff is nowadays. So I got this at Goodwill for 99 cents, and it sold for, I can't remember. I just sent an offer to the person today, and they accepted. Let's see. I think it was listed at like 15. I sent 20% off, so the buyer paid $12 plus discount shipping. So, what is that? They paid like $18 or so. I made only $6.93 minus the dollar I spent. So not huge, but 5 times my money or so. That's how I like to look at it. It was not hard to list that at all, even for a $5. I mean, if I made $5 every 10 minutes, what is that? $30 an hour, right?
I'm not good at spontaneous math.
6 items in. That's how I look at it. It didn't take long, like, you know what I mean?
Well, that's the cool thing about reselling. Like, we don't get to find super high-end, high-dollar items all the time, so we've been able to manage with, the $10, the $7 to $15 profits, and we just do a lot of them, so that makes it worth it.
Alright, so next up is a pair of Bogs. These also sold on Poshmark. So these were my son's shoes. I actually bought them off ThreadUp for, I believe it was $22.99, so not like cheap or anything. But I still made all that back plus a few extra dollars. Someone offered me $38 on Posh today. I think they were listed at like $50, and I accepted that. So I make $30.40 back. So got all my money plus like 6 or 7 extra bucks. So Bogs are always good to look out for. Alright, so that was it for Poshmark. Last few sales are Mercari. And actually one of them I had already pulled out because I just never got it put away yet. So this was just listed a couple days ago. It's a Gymboree shirt, sweatshirt. It says Save Our Surf on it. Kind of has like an Aviator Nation vibe. I think that's kind of why. It sold for as much as it did considering it's just Gymboree. But let me make sure I'm telling you the right price. Yeah, it sold for my full list price, which was $19 plus shipping. So for Gymboree, that's kind of a lot. I don't even think it cost that much to begin with. I actually bought that off Kitizen for my son, and I only bought it off Kitizen for $10. So I made all my $10 back plus some extra money on that. Next up, box I. Sold another Monster High doll. This one, I believe her name was like Kiyomi Hunterly or something. This came from Once Upon a Child. I have about $3 into it. It sold today for my list price, which was $20 plus shipping. So not bad. These are still selling. I do have a couple left that weren't like the popular ones. So hopefully those sell eventually. But I'll keep picking them up as long as they keep selling.
We've already made our money back.
Yeah.
And a lot more, so.
And then last sale of today is a hat in this basket. this was again from my bin stuff, stimulus challenge. This is a Howler Brothers hat. If you don't remember me, or if you didn't watch our whole video, that's kind of the logo. This is the first time I'm selling it. I did buy a vest of it, and I must have left the bag at Goodwill because that vest is nowhere to be found.
Yeah, we looked.
Which I'm very sad about because that was gonna sell for like a lot of money, but I learned my lesson to always check that I have all my bags, I guess. But yeah, if you ever see that tag, it's probably a good thing to pick up depending on price. So this one sold, this is just a hat, so it sold for $12 plus shipping, so not bad. I had about $1 into it, so around a $10 profit on that. And yeah, we do have a few questions today. All right. First up from Eileen, what decides whether the buyer pays shipping or whether you pay shipping? I notice other channels do that too. Love your videos. So it's just random. I don't have like a method to the madness.
Well, on certain platforms,
yeah,
right? Like,
so Citizen's always free shipping just because that's just how it's always been for me. Back in the day, you could not choose to separate it, so I just kind of learned how to do it that way, like adding it in, and then I just keep doing it that way. And it just makes it easier because on Citizen, if people put 2 things in their cart, obviously you don't want them paying shipping 2 times. You want to adjust that for them, and I don't want to be on my phone every second, like, oh, someone put 3 items in their cart. I have to figure out what the price is.
right.
So just do free shipping on Citizen. Mercari, I always charge shipping because of the... it just gives you, if anything gets lost or damaged, it's covered. So it's just easy.
And you're buying the shipping labels through Mercari.
Well, yeah, the buyer is like...
The buyer is, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and really I know everyone says their labels are a lot, but really they're not. Especially their new FedEx Smart Post label is actually cheaper than any priority mail you could get on your own. And the $5 for like first class up to £1 is actually a really good deal. So, I mean, there's a couple labels where you might save a few cents going elsewhere, but that's not worth my time to go price it out, nor type the label. I'd have to type in the tracking onto Mercari. So, and if it's first class, you have no coverage at all. Whereas if you get the label through them, you do get covered of any problem. So,
and even if it is a priority, you get the coverage, right? So
yeah, like if you ship priority on your own, you get coverage.
Right, but then you have to go and deal with the USPS
to me,
and all that.
I'm all about convenience, and I don't feel like it causes us to not get a lot of sales. So actually, Mercari, I feel like it has been doing better than
has been
eBay
on
this
fire
month,
for us, yeah.
And I think that's because I've been putting a lot of my items on auto price drop. So especially with the bin stuff, because I'm only paying $1 for it, so I don't care if it's worth 20. If someone wants to buy it for 15, I'll take 15. So I'm just letting prices drop pretty low, and a lot of times people will just buy them outright without actually waiting for it to like drop too low.
Also, we've been selling a lot of toys on Mercari, right?
Yeah,
Maybe toys is really good on Mercari. We're just now venturing into toys, so that could be a big reason why it's doing so well for us right now. We've sourced a lot of toys recently, so
yeah. And then Poshmark, obviously the shipping's already covered by the buyer. And then eBay, if it's first class, I almost always do free ship, although I won't say that because I feel like a lot of like these shorts today that sold for $5 plus shipping. So sometimes when I relist stuff, I'll just change it.
Yeah.
If it's been free ship for a while, I'll just switch it up to, because like maybe somebody was thinking, oh, $8.95 free shipping is a lot for a pair of baby shorts, but $5 plus $3.05 shipping is not as much. So I'll just switch it. But for the most part, I do free shipping for anything first class. Anything heavier than 2 pounds, I usually do calculated shipping, which is you set it up to have the buyer pay based on their location. And then otherwise I just kind of, it's like if it's a pair of shoes that's like 2 pounds, like under 2 pounds, I usually just, I know it's not going to be more than like $12 max. So I usually factor in around 10. A lot of times it's 8, sometimes it's 12. It just evens all out at the end. So no method. I just do whatever I think at the time when I list. And then if it doesn't sell for a couple months, I'll change it up. So
just remember, there's no such thing as free shipping.
Right.
So either way, it's still accounted for in the price. So if it's free shipping, the price is a little bit higher because it's accounting for shipping. So we like to think of it all as free shipping. right? When we're sourcing, we think about the shipping cost. This will be about X dollars to ship. So we just factor that into our sourcing or Kathy's sourcing habits.
Yeah.
So that's just how we look at it. And it's worked well for us, I guess.
Yeah. Next question is from Thrifting the Three Rivers. She's asking, do you guys get a lot of returns? Actually, we get almost no returns. So
Yeah.
the three of the platforms we use, you're not even allowed to, like, there is no returns unless I, as the seller, made a mistake. Either, like, said something was excellent condition and it wasn't, or if it, like, breaks in transit or something like that. But I'm pretty picky about my listings, so I try to point out every flaw and stuff like that. Then on eBay, we don't accept returns, which I know you know, there's really no such thing as you not accepting returns, because then someone could just bring up an
Right.
issue. But we really don't have that happen. Some people do try to put in for a return, but they don't lie. As far as, I mean, we might have had like one person, I feel like, try to lie, but for the most part, they just say it didn't fit, and then I just decline their return request, and I haven't even got bad feedback for it. So, no, we don't really get a lot of returns. Do you have some?
I was going to say, so on eBay, if we have no returns and they say it doesn't fit, eBay will actually side on our side, right?
Yeah, well, like, if they write the reason that they want
Right.
to return is for fit,
Right.
all I have to do is say not accepting.
I don't
and,
return
like,
for fit, yeah.
That's the end of it. They cannot open another return after that. So
We've had that happen a handful of times. It doesn't happen too often,
I would
but
say less than once a month for sure.
whereas honestly, if we did accept returns, we would have had to accept those. So
Yeah, but then people say you'll get a lot more sales, but I just feel like, I don't know. I do check if somebody accepts returns, and I won't buy from them if they
Yeah.
don't. So, like, technically I wouldn't buy from my own self, I guess, but I don't know. I also feel like I price my items cheap enough to where people are like, well, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'll either resell
Yeah.
it or just lose out on the money. So, no, we don't get a lot of returns. We'll maybe consider doing returns on eBay at some point, but right now we're making enough and we're happy with what we're making, and I don't feel like we're not making a lot of sales because we don't accept them. So
well, and we've done calculations before, like checking our sell-through rate compared to other resellers, and we're right up
yeah.
in there with people that are accepting returns. So we're just not confident enough that it would actually boost our business.
Yeah.
And that's just us. That's personal opinion. So
Yeah, and then, like, to me, I know that the item will sell on another platform
Right.
eventually,
Right.
which they're not allowed to, which they don't accept returns.
and we'd probably seriously reconsider if we weren't cross-listing.
Yeah, if we were
across multiple
strictly doing
platforms.
eBay, I would probably accept
Right.
returns, because I'd be making a lot more to make it worth it. But
Because you do get lower percentage fees and stuff like that, right?
yeah, so it could probably cancel out any
Right.
returns that you do get. It just bothers me. I just do not like getting returns. Like, not like in a bad way, like I'm mad at the person.
It's just
It's
extra
so
work
much
that's...
like, okay, you gotta go get it,
Yeah.
because we have our, like, return addresses as our P.O. box, which we hardly ever check. So we have to retrieve the item, relist it on all the platforms. It's just such a hassle. So
Right.
that's the main reason that I don't right now. All right, and then last question from Angie Resells. It shows $9.99 for shipping on the Imagine Next toy house thing. How are you shipping for that low? The size and weight seems like it would make it much more than that. Absolutely love your organized inventory. So, yeah, she's talking about that Toy Story, like, toy. It was fairly large.
It was large, yeah.
It was only about, like, 3.5 pounds, I think. So the UPS label on Mercari, that's the $9.99. So I charged the buyer that. That covers up to 5 pounds. And we did all the measurements. And it was within what UPS accepts for the
Yeah.
measurements. So I guess just make sure before you list it. I feel like it was getting close to, like, being a little bit too big. So if it was maybe like a couple inches bigger, then it would have been an issue. But yeah, it was slightly large, but not terribly heavy. So yeah, Mercari does have a bunch of options though. Like, you can even do 10 pounds for, I don't really sell much over 5 pounds, but Mercari has a lot of really good options for different shipping. So as long as you can make sure your box isn't too big, yeah, that's how we did that one. So I think specifically for that one is why I did UPS instead of USPS. Well, because it was over 3 pounds, but not over 5. but then also USPS, I feel like you have to have your item a little bit smaller.
Right.
So that was kind of why we did UPS. So UPS has more options, I guess.
And you can definitely go check out the Mercari shipping information. Mercari's got a lot of information on there. It's not completely easy to understand, but I think we looked into it, and you can like click different links for like UPS and figure out what works that way. So anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for the great questions. We will see you in the next one. Bye.